Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Boerne Brew here on Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM and 1500 AM. And you can also listen on the Boerne Star and Boerne Radio websites. I'm the host of today's show. My name is Kerry Barboza, and I'm the sports editor of the Boerne Star. And readers of the Boerne Star will see in the paper athletic results from a school in Boerne, Crestmont Christian Preparatory School. So, yes, Virginia, there is another high school in Boerne, and joining us today is the athletic director from Crestmont Christian, Matt Oliver. Matt, thank you for being a part of the show.
Yeah, thanks, Kerry. I'm happy to be here.
Well, how long has Crestmont been around?
So, Crestmont started actually in 2008, so it's actually been around for quite a while, but the growth has been, for a small school, it's been rather paced and slow, and then the sports program kind of started to pick up in the late teens, 2018, 2019, and then unfortunately COVID hit. And then follow that with, just some back and forth declines in school enrollment. So here we are when I joined the scene in 2022, and off we are with sports.
Okay. I remember getting emails from some parents about wanting to send results in back before you were part of it. And at that time, I was talking to one of the ladies, and she said that they were meeting at First Baptist Church. Is that still the case?
That's still the case, yep. We're on the hunt for a new school home, but we'll be finishing the school year out this year at the First Baptist Boerne campus.
Are you going to try to rent? Are you going to try to build? What's the story there?
That's a great question. I'm not really sure the board is handling that. So, we're all waiting and seeing what the Lord has for us as a school and what they're able to find.
Yeah, and this parent told me, I think y'all were associated with Liberty University. Is that still the case?
Not so much anymore. The board and the principal have changed that academic direction a little bit. So students can still do outside classwork through Liberty or another university if they wanted to, but the curriculum has been a little more solidified and brought together under certain coursework.
So how many students and teachers there, and y'all go K through 12, or what's the grade levels there?
Yeah, we are. We're K through 12. We've got about 123 total this year in the school. Yep, per small school. We got about 30 in the high school and 30 in the middle school. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity for growth. We've added an awful lot of teachers into the high school this year. We're probably pushing over 20.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a small class size. That's a big draw for the school.
That's a good ratio, student to teacher ratio.
Absolutely,
right?
yep.
So what sports do you play? I know it's kind of limited right now, but what are you competing in right now?
So right now we're playing volleyball. Girls volleyball is going on right now. We've got cross country. And I'm very happy to say we started a flag football program this year. The last couple of years, we had been participating in Oak Hills Christian Church down I-10.
Yeah.
We've been participating, just with the boys in their flag football, like rec league, basically. And we got to the point where we need to make this an actual competitive team. So we started this year. We just had our first flag football game on Monday, and our next games are tonight.
So do you have all those sports at the middle school and the high school level?
Yep, that's correct. We do.
So total sports, I know cross country, volleyball.
Flag football, basketball is coming, and then we'll have track and field in spring. And then I do work with the Boerne Tennis Center and Fair Oaks to do golf and tennis lessons. Hopefully the vision is one day we can build competitive tennis and golf teams too.
And do you have golfers and tennis players that participate?
We do, yep. We got, on the younger side, 4th, 5th graders, some 6th graders, but there's a lot of interest in those sports. So we're pushing to see where I can take it.
Yeah, that is Matt Oliver, Athletic Director for Crestmont Christian Prep School here in Boerne. What are the plans as far as adding sports? You mentioned golf, tennis, but is there any other particular sports you guys want to add in the future or near future?
So right now, we just started flag football, so that'll be a good avenue for us as we grow. Perhaps we can start a 6-man team for tackle football out of that, so that might be a good pathway for us. And right now, really, it's developing the teams we have, so let's make our track and field team. It's kind of funny. Last year, 2 years ago, we had a track team of 3.
Wow. But we'll talk about him later, but one was pretty good.
Yeah, one was pretty good.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a second.
This past season, we jumped to a team of 20. So the opportunity for growth and developing our athletes is there. So it's just a matter of really taking that next step to solidify and to really, accelerate what we've got in the pipeline.
And so when you guys compete, I know I think you said 35 in the high school. How many of those 35 play sports?
Quite a bit. One of the things that I really value as the athletic director, and I really discuss with all the parents, the students, even the teachers, is I value multi-sport athletes. I don't care if you've played every sport in the world or you've never played, come play with us. If you say never, then you won't ever do something. So, hey, if you've never played basketball before, that's great. Come play anyways. You're going to learn. You're going to get better. And we see that time after time. Athletes just get better and better. And you can see that one girl, she's on the basketball court. She doesn't want to move. She doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But then I'm telling you, 2 months later, she's going after shots. She's diving for the ball. Like she's got the support of her teammates and coaches. And it's a really cool progression to watch.
What's your background in sports? I know you said you played, most of us played sports growing up. You were in the Air Force as well, played some basketball there, I know. Mm-hmm. But so what's your sports background? Generally,
it's that kind of stuff, rec leagues. And I tried out for middle school basketball one time, and I made it, not because I was any good, but because I had good grades.
You cleared the bar.
I cleared the bar, that's right. So, yeah, mostly, my sports background in terms of playing is pretty limited, but I have a pretty good feel for developing programs, finding coaches, leading that administrative aspect where I think a lot of other schools might struggle in some cases.
And then how did you get into the coaching aspect of it?
Well, the need was there. The need was there, and, I felt God say, hey, they need someone to take this over to run this. And so I said yes. And, we went from that first year, we just had middle school teams, no high school. And now we're on our second year of high school teams. We've got our volleyball team is a great example. Last year, we really just played JV level volleyball. But this year, we're taking a big step forward, playing more varsity teams, developing the girls. We've actually got enough now for 2 teams, which is really exciting because we didn't have that last year. Right. And the same thing for basketball, just I've got a good feel for how to do that and, find the right schools that really are a good competitive match for us.
So do you coach or are you strictly AD or what is your role?
I'm most of the AD. I'm the coach of last resort. And
okay.
When I mean last
Somebody
resort.
Somebody gets COVID, you're the guy that's going to step in for a week.
It might be ugly. But, yep, I can do that. And I like being around all of our coaches. We've got parents that coach. We've got some professional coaches that we're bringing in to help coach. I like being around all of them and learning how they do things, learning how to coach all the sports. I actually learned how to coach the long jump and triple jump a couple of years ago, so I helped do that with the track and field season. So, I try to be there and present as much as I can with all of our teams.
So you said you felt led to take over the role there as the athletic director. So what were you doing there before?
So we actually started going to the school with our kids in 2017. So we've just kind of been along every step of the way. And it was really, at first, our oldest, he starts playing basketball with his school buddies. And then, oh, wait, there's this need. And my daughter wants to play. You can tell my youngest wants to play as well. So, if I don't contribute now, there won't be anything for my kids or the kids coming up after them. So, that was really the big, the green light. Say, okay, let's do this so that way we're giving all of our kids an opportunity, not just mine.
So you mentioned background in the Air Force. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So how did you go from Air Force to, did you retire? Or?
I did, yep. I retired after 21 years. I was a pilot for a while. Then I did a lot of operational planning in Europe and Africa and that kind of stuff. So it's been a pretty seamless, natural fit to go from that kind of planning into planning for a sports season.
And what did you fly?
I flew C-17s, big cargo planes.
Cargo planes, yeah.
You see them around here, yep.
Yeah, if you go to the missions game, they have the Hercules that fly around there, and I guess they do touch and goes.
I've been there a few times, did that myself.
On the C-17s. And you mentioned you were in the Middle East.
That's right. Yep, I deployed to the Middle East several times, and even when I wasn't flying, the nice thing about those big airplanes is you can fly from the States to there and then come back home again, so I did an awful lot of that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long day, though.
Long days.
Yeah. Co-pilots and auto are, you're ready to sleep a little, you to talk about those bombers that went and bombed, whatever.
That's the nice thing with the big airplanes is you've got a multi-pilot crew, so you swap seats and get some rest, and the automation on the airplane gives you a little more of a break, so you're not constantly flying the airplane where you're wearing yourself out, because, they say flying an airplane is hours of sheer boredom followed by moments of sheer terror, so.
One or the other.
One or the other, so you need to be ready for both.
Well, and you mentioned you were playing basketball out there and you hurt your knee because there was some desert sand had blown onto the court.
Yep. Yeah, I was playing ball. I would, I'm not a fast guy. I got a loose ball, and so what did I was running down the gym for a fast break and did the thing I shouldn't have done, that was jump. And I never got off the ground.
You just slipped, huh?
Slipped, and there it was. Yep. Got the medical flight home and all that stuff.
You'd have surgery and everything?
The full 9 yards. I've got a honorary AARP card with a scar in my knee.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You can hang it on the wall there.
That's right.
Is that a torn ACL? Is that what it was?
Patellar tendon.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now, the good thing is now surgeries, they don't tie you up for a year and a half like the way they used to back in the day.
Yep, that's right.
It's a little bit different now.
A little bit different now, and they definitely want you to get moving, strengthen the muscle. Yeah. My case, there was a lot of sitting still, and allowing the muscle to heal, and then developing the muscle back once the tendon was ready. And that's the focus, kind of pull it back to sports a little bit, with the kids, is when I talk to coaches and I hire coaches, injury prevention is a big deal. We've got kids who are 12, 13, 14. That's not right that we put a kid out there who doesn't know how to run, jump, or play the position correctly, and then they get hurt, bad knee injury, and they've got that injury the rest of their life, like I do. Right. Injury prevention, taking care of the kids physically, how to perform moves correctly, that's a huge issue and a big thing that I discuss with my coaches all the time.
That is Matt Oliver, Athletic Director for Crestmont Christian Prep School here in Boerne. I'm the host of today's show. My name's Kerry Barboza. And you're listening to the Boerne Brew, presented by the Boerne Star. So where do you guys play? Because I know, does First Baptist have a gym?
Does not. No,
okay.
It does not. So
do you play?
Typical small school problem. We rent all of our gym time. So we play volleyball games tomorrow night. Hey, y'all, come on out. Tomorrow at volleyball. We'll be at the Jones Christmas Ranch. There's a gym on the property, believe it or not. So we'll be there. Middle school starts at 5. High school plays at 6. We're playing Living Rock Academy from Bulverde for both games. So come on out and see us tomorrow night, Friday night. We play at Messiah Lutheran. There's other gyms around town that we'll rent from just to get practice time. Hopefully one of these days, Lord will bless us with a gym where we don't have to do that. But right now, we find all of our gym space, and all the parents are great about getting their kids where they need to be when practice time or game time is.
Well, I hate to tell you, but the show's not airing until Saturday. So next week.
Tuesday. Come out Tuesday.
All right, there you go. As far as cross country, you guys can, that can be anywhere. But the track, you do the Boerne ISD tracks, you run your kids out there, basically.
And honestly, believe it or not, we're a bit of a parking lot track team, too. So we'll do practices out there at the parking lot. Parking lot team, doing the best we can. The kids do really great, and sometimes there's a bit of a challenge translating. Hey, when you run, jump here, try to translate, but, once they kind of see the concept, you show them some stuff, and then they get out to a real track. Oh, now it makes sense, and, we introduced, talk about developing programs. So 2 years ago, we didn't have hurdles. We didn't do hurdles for track. So I had a coach come out. She had her husband build a bunch of PVC pipe hurdles. Oh, wow. Regulation size, but they're just PVC. And so this past season, we had hurdlers, and, they got to practice, and then, oh, wait, it looks different, but then once they got and actually jumped over them, this is just what we practiced, and they did great.
So you're literally starting from scratch in some areas.
Absolutely, 100%, everywhere. Yep.
Yeah. But isn't it a lot of fun, though?
It is so much fun. Yeah, the kids see it, and you just see the camaraderie they develop. You see all of the teamwork, and you see the confidence in themselves. That's one of the things that we really want to focus on, is that confidence. Yes, I can do this, and find that ability to overcome it.
So you mentioned coaches. How many coaches total are at the school?
Oh, boy. So we've got 3 for volleyball. We've got 3 for basketball, potentially 4, 1.5 for cross country. And for track, 3 coaches, sometimes 4. So, yeah, pretty good number.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm. And how many are full-time staff?
None.
Oh, they're just...
Some of them are stipend coaches. Some are volunteers. They just want to be around and help. Yeah. So it's finding the right people who are willing to give their time and give of their knowledge to these kids. And, we're blessed to find the right ones, and it's been great. A little bit of background. You emailed me about a year ago, said, we're restarting our varsity sports. Can you run articles if I send them to you in the Boerne Star? I said, sure. Mm-hmm. So right now you kind of do some JV, and then sometimes you play varsity, right? Depending on who you're playing. Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Is that right?
That's right. Yep. Because, we're a small school. If we go play some big TAPS 5A school, it's just not going to be a pretty contest. It's not worth it for them. It's a struggle for us. That might be a really great matchup for us, for our kids to learn how to execute their coach's strategy. So really, it's finding the right matchups, the right opponents. We do have some schools in the area in our league, so we'll play them regardless of, hey, it's our varsity, your varsity, let's do this, and the score is a score at the end. But a lot of times I really try hard to find the right matchups to get our kids the best learning potential. Getting back to the story, you were emailing me a story this year about one of the cross-country meets, and you mentioned James Hepler, and he's a Boerne ISD guy. Yes, he is. I was joking with him the other day. He's an institution to himself. Yeah. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows Coach Hepler. And now it's really interesting because everyone that he coached, they're all having kids now, and he's starting to coach those kids at our school. It's a really funny story how he's like, oh, wait, I know you. Oh, this is your kid. And, he's coaching cross-country for us right now, and I think he's having a blast. And he had 2 sons that played high school ball at Boerne High and all that, and
I thought he had been at the middle school and then he retired, but now I guess you got him out of it.
Yeah, he's been teaching at Crestmont for several years, and we actually were in a bit of a bind. A cross-country coach couldn't come back, and I was having a hard time finding a cross-country coach to hire. And I said, Coach, I need you. I need someone to coach cross-country. And he said, yep, sure, I'll do it. And he's just been fantastic with the kids.
So a lot of private schools, they're part of TAPS, Texas Association of Private Parochial. There's TCAL, which is, I don't even know sure what the Cal part means, but you guys are in a separate organization, Texas Association of Independent Athletic Organization. How do you say that? TAIAO?
I always say TAO.
TAO?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a mouthful no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's something that works for us, unlike TAPS or TCAL. TSCAL is another one out there. It's a group of independent schools, and that's basically how we function. We're not bound to, I got to play a particular schedule. I'm not bound to a district. I try to make a bit of a district schedule, if you will, so we can kind of play some of the same folks, especially if they're going to be at the playoff tournament at the end of the season. But I've got the ability to go find the folks that I need to. I don't want to drive to, hour and a half away to go play somebody because I have to. I don't need to do that. I can find the folks I need to. I can drive into San Antonio and find the right schools. So there's a lot of flexibility with being in Teo, but it is a bit harder to get things scheduled than if I was in a regular league where they just gave me the schedule. Here you go, and you find a few out-of-district games to finish the schedule, So you do have districts. You have a district? Nope.
You don't have?
Nope, no districts. Nope. You literally, there's a league, they want you to play, a certain number of league games,
right,
just to say, hey, you are a part of the league. But otherwise,
okay,
I can go find who I want to play.
So there's no league champ,
so there is a playoff at the end. So for volleyball, for example, we'll have regional playoffs on 11 and 12 October in San Antonio, and then if you qualify for state out of that, then you'll go to the state tournament, which I believe might be in College Station again this year. Yeah, so
okay,
we still have playoffs and all that, but the way they do the ranking and how they sort all that's just a little bit different.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That is Matt Oliver, Athletic Director for Crestmont Christian Prep School here in Boerne. How many schools are in Teo?
Oh, man.
Any idea?
They were talking at the June meeting. I know it's definitely over 60, that's for sure. And I know the commissioner, he's a football coach, so he definitely let everybody know that Teo is the third largest six-man football league in Texas behind UIL and TAPS, and it's growing. So as a league, it's also growing as well. So there's schools in El Paso, Lubbock. I think there's one in Amarillo, lots in Houston, in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio area. Then there's got a few, that are coming up in Houston as well.
You mentioned adding sports. Would six-man football be one of the next sports you hope to add?
Well, in the future, yeah. Right now, because we rent everywhere, we don't quite have the facilities, really the access to property to really run a football program appropriately. So, as the school grows and we find all of those different pieces and they start to get put together, I think that's when we'll be able to start taking a look at growing into six-man. But that's the vital piece of it, is the school momentum too. It's not just sports. It's really tied to how is the school doing. If the school is stagnant, sports are going to kind of be around that point too. But if the school's got momentum behind it, which we do, all the right pieces are in place. The booster clubs here providing athletic funding. We got funding for other things for the academic side. That momentum creates the engine for the athletics department to grow as well.
Well, I was going to ask you what your mascot is and what your school colors are, but you're wearing all of it on your shirt.
I've got it right now, yeah.
So, you're the Crestmont Warriors, and looks like blue and silver?
Yep, navy blue and white, that's right. Yep.
Okay, and white.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of silver and gray in there, too. Yep.
Okay. One of the things you mentioned, one of the articles that you sent me, is that last year you played a lot of JV-type games. This year it feels like you guys are improving and playing teams you wouldn't have thought about playing last year.
That's right. Yep, that's right. So we're playing more varsity teams this year. We did play at a tournament. We did play Geneva's junior varsity team, and that was a pretty competitive match for the first set. The girls, it's funny, they're kids, and so they're learning how to play and be consistent, so they really hung in there with them the first set. They were actually leading pretty big at one point, but then the loss is sometimes hard to deal with, so they struggle the next set. That's a learning thing that, everyone's got to kind of learn how to deal with. So we're competitive with that in that tournament. Actually, we finished 3-1 at that tournament, and that's the first time we've had a winning record at that tournament. Wow. Usually it's 1-3, 0-4, but this time we went 3-1 playing other JV teams. So that's a big step forward for our volleyball program. Yeah, playing more varsity teams this year. Like I said, we'll play Living Rock tonight for our Friday night, and we got another varsity team coming on Tuesday night. So we're making that push towards actual, true 100% varsity play. Well, I mentioned a couple of standout athletes. There's one, Kendall, that ran, and she's graduated, and she's at Liberty, and she's a triathlete, and she's competed all over the world. All over the world, yeah, absolutely, yep. And so were you there when she was there? I was not. She was before my time, yep.
Okay, she's gone. She's competing in triathlons all over the world. But you have another athlete, Peyton Blythe, who is the state champion.
Oh, he's amazing. Peyton's incredible. He's one of those kids he just makes running look easy.
Yeah.
It's just gross. He's just got the look on his face. And whenever he's straining, like you can tell, like he's straining, like he's actually pushing hard, and he's not just in pain because he's tired. I wrote down here in my notes, so we had a meet on 30 August, and he finished 13th, huge meet. I think there were 213.
Yeah, it's a big feast meet, the Patriot Invitation over there by Rotama.
So it was on the horse in the racetrack on the grass.
They changed it this year.
They did, yeah. 213 runners in the varsity boys, and I mean it was a huge herd.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and he finished 13th out of that. And there was some good competition. We were at the Bandera meet this past weekend, and he finished first by 45 seconds, and he's running a 5-minute 19-mile right now. That's pretty great.
I was looking at his times, even though it's Teo, and he's obviously state champ, but his time compared to TAPS, even UIL athletes, is competitive.
It's phenomenal. He's great, yeah. He's amazing.
It's competitive. So, and what grade is he in?
He's a sophomore this year.
Plans to run in the future?
I hope so.
Yeah, he needs to.
He needs to. I hope so. He's one of those kids that he could probably go anywhere and compete with anybody, and that's one of the things that we look forward to seeing. He's going to be great this year. Great time so far, and we got the state meet for cross country is on October 25th. It's out in Lockhart, I believe, so we're going to go watch him, smoke the track and then go get some barbecue afterwards.
All right, yeah. Lockhart, yeah. Go to Black's or whatever your favorite. October 25th, that's a Paul McCartney concert.
Oh, okay.
In San Antonio. Yeah. I would go, but Paul's invited me to the concert.
Yeah,
so.
That's tough.
That is Matt Oliver, Athletic Director for Crestmont Christian Prep School here in Boerne. You're listening to the Boerne Brew here on Boerne Radio. I'm the host of today's show. My name's Kerry Barboza. So what is your job like a day, on an average day, what does your job consist of? How many hours, do you count how many hours you work a week?
I'm on contract for so many hours a week, but I'm working more than that, which is okay because that's what it takes, to get the job done. On any given day, it's working, the budget for the program, making sure everything works, talking to coaches, looking at the schedule. It's one of those deals where I think a lot of other people would understand you're executing one sport right now, or in my case, 3 right now. Finishing the plan for the next sport, which is basketball, and then thinking about the next one, which is track, coming up. And that planning will start like November, December, once all the meets start to get published. And then by that point, you come back into January, and you're already thinking about next year as you're working on track. So, hey, I need to get my gym time scheduled. I need to get how are my coaches doing? Who do I need to rehire? So there's an awful lot of that, working with the board for the next year's budget. So there's plenty of things to do on any given day.
And you go to all the events?
I try to, everyone, yep.
You're kind of the guy there, so.
And, it's important, too, because you want to see, how's the team doing? What do they need to continue to thrive and grow? Do we need more practice time? Do we need more equipment? Do we need to reschedule something? There's always those little details that you've got to manage along the way.
So let's give a shout out to the principal. Who's the school principal?
Mrs. Alyssa De Los Santos is our principal.
Okay.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's got, oh goodness, I'm trying to remember how much, like at least 20 years of public school experience as a teacher and doing other things. We've got several teachers on staff with public school experience as well. So it's not just the little private school where we find, whoever we can find. We have real teachers who perform real, objective-based coursework and real objective-based, grading and evaluation for the students. So it's a phenomenal environment for everybody.
So it sounds like your job's kind of a matter of kind of juggling just paperwork. There's, the coaching part. So you got to kind of be a jack of all trades.
All trades. You got to do it all. And sometimes it's getting creative, right? Making hurdles out of PVC pipes. We have nothing, but hey, we have a dream, we have a vision, we want to do something. Well, what can we do to get there? Well, we can't go rent Boerne ISD's track right now because it's busy. Okay, well, what could we do, to get us as close as we can to give our kids a shot, because that's really what it's about. It's for them.
Well, we're getting ready to wind up here. We've been visiting with Matt Oliver, Athletic Director for Crestmont Christian Prep School. So, Matt, first of all, thank you for being part of the show.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to be here. It's been a good conversation.
As far as this job, it sounds like you feel it's a calling, like you've been called by the Lord to do that. So it seems like you're happy there. How long do you plan to stay around?
As long as the Lord says He wants me here. You know, I definitely think at some point the program would get to a point where they need the next person who's got a different set of gifts, who knows how to really excel the program beyond where I can get it. And that's okay to admit, because, you know, it's not about me, it's about these kids and making the best for the school that we can possibly do. So, you know, when that person arrives, when the Lord says, okay, Matt, time to step aside and let the next person take it, like, okay, that's the plan for the school, that's the plan for the kids, and that's the best thing for all of us. So, you know, whatever that takes, I've been doing it. This is my third year, you know, so if it's another, 3, another 5, another 10, that's what it takes.
And looking 10 years down the road, did you see big growth? You see good things happening for
Absolutely.
the school?
It's so great. I mean, like I said, 2 years ago, our track team was a 3-man team. This past season, we had 20. I mean, it's huge, right? It's just that phenomenal, just getting people interested. Last year, we had 8 on our high school volleyball team. This year, we have 14. You know, first-year players playing this year. Like, yeah, like, come play. Just the more we get that energy, that excitement, the more the community gets involved, the sky's the limit.
Well, Matt, thank you for being a part of the show. It's hard to believe it's about 30 minutes has come and gone.
Yeah, it's fast. Yeah, appreciate it.
That is Matt Oliver, Athletic Director for Crestmont Christian Prep here in Boerne. Thank you, Matt, for coming out. And thank you out there for listening to the Boerne Brew. We'll talk to you next time.